I think that's where like a lot more breakthroughs will be made.
On the post-train side.
Yeah.
Post-train plus plus. So
Yep.
like not just the training part of post-train, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a bunch of other details around that also.
Yeah, and the RAG architecture, the retrieval-augmented architecture, I think there's an interesting thought experiment here that um, we've been spending a lot of compute in the pre-training to acquire general common sense, but that seems brute force and inefficient. What you want is a system that can learn like an open book exam. If you've written exams in like in undergrad or grad school, where people allowed you to like come with your notes to the exam versus no notes allowed. I think not the same set of people end up scoring number one on both.
Mm. You're saying like pre-train is no notes allowed.
Kind of, it memorizes everything. Like
Right.
you can ask the question, why do you need to memorize every single fact to be good at reasoning?
Yeah.
But somehow that seems like the more and more compute and data you throw at these models, they get better at reasoning. But is there a way to decouple reasoning from facts? And there are some interesting research directions here. Like Microsoft has been working on this phi models where they're training small language models. They call it SLMs,
Mhm.
but they're only training it on tokens that are important for reasoning. And they're distilling the intelligence from GPT-4 on it to see how far you can get if you just take the tokens of GPT-4 on data sets that require you to reason and you train the model only on that. You don't need to train on all of like regular internet pages. Just train it on like basic common sense stuff. But it's hard to know what tokens are needed for that. It's hard to know if there's an exhaustive set for that. But if we do manage to somehow get to a right data set mix that gives good reasoning skills for a small model, then that's like a breakthrough that disrupts the whole foundation model players because you no longer need that giant of cluster for training. And if this small model, which has good level of common sense, can be applied iteratively, it
Mhm.
bootstraps its own reasoning and doesn't necessarily come up with one output answer, but thinks for a while, bootstraps, thinks for a while. I think that can be like truly transformational.
Man, there's a lot of questions there. Is it possible to form that SLM? You can use an LLM to help with the
Yeah,
filtering which pieces of data are likely to be useful for reasoning.
absolutely. And these are the kind of architectures we should explore more, uh, where small models, and this is also why I believe open source is important because at least it gives you like a good base model to start with, and try different experiments in the post training phase to see if you can just specifically shape these models for being good reasoners.